said it's gone live, and oh, these are looking a little fuzzy on the chroma key, so I'm going to remove those. They just moved too quickly, and I'm doing my chroma keying live, so, I mean, maybe it's obvious that I'm doing it live, but that's the reason why sometimes it's a little bit fuzzy. It's not too bad today. I tweaked some of the settings. Anyway, you don't need to know all the back end stuff and behind the scenes stuff. Today, we are going to be continuing on the project we've been working on for quite a while now. So I still, because I'm not done with it yet, read all the Kaggle forum posts every day, except for the ones on competitions, because the competitions DAs cover those. And it's not really sustainable. There's a lot of forum posts. I can actually tell you right now, I have, checking my email, I'd probably say around 100 to look at, but I'm going to tell you the exact number just in the interest of openness. Okay, it's not bad, 70. But if there's, things that are interesting, I want to reply to them. And many of them actually aren't things that are super important for us to know about as the Kaggle team. So my idea is that I want to build eventually a Slack bot that will inform me of the topics that people are talking about, and maybe do a little bit of sentiment analysis and maybe talk about like changes over time. We'll see. That's out there. Right now, we're still working on the clustering. And there's some unique challenges. I want it to be unsupervised. I don't want to do any labeling. I expect the number and types of topics to change over time, so I can't train a big clusterer and then just keep applying it. I'm going to need to do clustering every time. So, I mean, at a very simple level, you can imagine that each competition is going to have its own topic or topics, and we want to be able to track competitions as they, end, and maybe people don't talk about them as much, or a new one starts and people are going to start talking about that, and we want to be able to track those competitions over time. Also, I don't know if you can see, but my shirt is a Kaggle shirt, and it's got some green in it that is just the right color not to show up. So I don't think that's going to be in the shot a whole lot, but I was just reminded about it. Anurag says, which competition? So actually, we're not going to be working with competition-specific data here. We're going to be working with, and I think it's, this data set, which we will be able to work with, is an earlier version of Kaggle. So let me show you what that looks like. Woo-hoo. There we go. Kaggle. Jesse says, this shirt is so cool. Thank you. It is one that I'm trying to remember when I got it. I have a fair number of Kaggle shirts at this point. I don't think this one was specifically Kaggle Days. This might have been sort of like welcome to the team sort of shirt. Hello everybody. Deep Learner, David, Ankush, Ravi came back. Welcome back. Glad to have you. So the data set that we're using is this Kaggle data set, which sometimes people are like, can I scrape Kaggle? And I'm like, please don't. I mean, we already have the data cleaned and available for you, so we would prefer that you use this data set instead of spending a bunch of time like figuring out how to scrape when it already exists. And the specific one that we're looking at is the forum messages. So you can see here, this is why it is important that I automate this, because this is the number of forum messages over time. And I joined like here-ish. I don't know if you can see sort of there-ish right above my cursor. And we're now up here, and the number of forum posts has pretty much doubled. And it's a lot. And I want to be able to automate it and also have an easier way to communicate out to people instead of being like, I think I saw a forum post like 4 weeks ago about something, but I can't find it. It would be nice if I could just like cluster them automatically. Hello, so many people from Egypt. Oh, welcome. All right. So we've done quite a bit of work so far. Deep Learner says, we will be talking about variance, random variables, and probability distributions. Probably not a whole bunch. So we're not really building a probability-based model here. The clustering that we've been using so far is called spectral clustering. And I had some very good slides that I can no longer find, but it's not really probability based. It is a little bit density based. Whereas there's a very good figure that shows the difference between spectral clustering and other types of clustering. Nope. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Anyway, we're building clusters. There we go. So spectral clustering is actually graph-based rather than density-based. So something like k-means would be the k closest data points, and that's k nearest neighbors. So something like k nearest neighbors is you'd look at a data point and you'd look at its k nearest neighbors and then use that to decide majority votes what class it should be in. And we're actually using a graphically based clustering algorithm. And I don't think we're going to talk too much about the clustering today, but we're not really doing much in the way of density estimation for this particular problem. And Barish says, how long is the live stream? Usually about an hour. We'll see. Fingerdraw is Kaggle working on doing a shareable kernels notebook link like Google Colab has by link. So you can share notebooks by link. So this one is public. If I zoom out a bit, oh, it doesn't show up there. This one is public. If I look under here, oh, where is it? Anyway, usually there's a little access button that I just don't see, and maybe it's because I haven't finished my coffee. But you can share kernels by link if they're public. If they are private and you haven't added somebody as a contributor, there's no way for somebody to see it. So, I'm glad you like the environment, and we always make the recordings available, so you can watch later. All right, let's launch this kernel, and I can talk about some of the things that we have done so far. So you can see why it's important that I'm going to work on the thing that I'm doing today, which is, sorry, a little bit of a slow start this morning. The specific thing that we're doing today is I want to filter out a specific class of, I just want to filter this out so y'all can see what I'm talking about. I want to filter out a specific class of posts. So one of the things that's super common on Kaggle, and I love it, I'm so happy that it is that somebody will share work and a bunch of people reply to it being like, oh, thanks for sharing, this is super helpful, or oh, hey, great kernel you wrote, I love it, or someone will ask a question, somebody else will be like, answer the question, the person will be like, oh, thank you for your help. So there's this large number of just sort of like super polite, nice, good community posts that I'm very, very happy to see them. I don't necessarily need to see every day that, there's 4 clusters of different gradations of types of politeness. For me, it's more important that I see like bug reports, or at least in terms of passing them on to the team. So things like bug reports that we can find out about, or for me, I'm interested if people are talking about like a new type of algorithm that's out and people are interested in, I want to know if that's happening. So those are the sorts of things that are, for me, more important. And we have an error. What's our problem? Max arg is an empty sequence. Self-terms values, extract keywords from posts. Okay, so we have a bug now in our code that we have so far, and I can walk you through it a little bit. We've done all of this on camera, so you can go back and watch the other videos. But the big things that we do are we get information of the text of the forum post and then about the forum post, so like where it was posted and the day and the time and all of that. Hi, Sunny. And then we do a little bit of extra cleaning. We make sure that they're strings. We remove all the HTML tags because that was sort of creating some noise. And originally I thought I'd be interested in it because I'd be interested to know to what degree people were sharing links. But as it turned out, it wasn't actually all that helpful in practice. And then we extract the keywords. And it looks like here's where we're having our problems. Max arg is an empty sequence, keywords.yake, extract keywords. So we're using a keyword extraction algorithm called Yake, which is an unsupervised, Y-A-K-E, which is an unsupervised algorithm. And the reason is to reduce the dimensionality. So specifically because we are doing document embeddings based on like kind of a dumb way, I don't want the embeddings for the and the to be included in every single document, because that's going to sort of shift the center of mass of all of our clusters closer together. And I don't want, I don't want to have to get the embeddings for 8,000 words per post, or however long they are. I only want like the 20 most important words. So that's why we're doing extraction. Fingerdraw says, what are your thoughts on Ernie 2.0? I don't think I've read Ernie 2.0. I know Ernie, I'm pretty sure. No, I'm thinking of Elmo. Elmo is the one where there's 2 LSTMs, one in each direction. I don't know about Ernie. Hello, MJ. Welcome. Okay, so we're running into an error in the keywords Yik post keywords. So keywords Yik is, I believe, is that one of the ones that we wrote? So I wrote a number of utility functions that are up here. Let's see, and I also have, you can see here, Yik Helper Functions. So I've written a script and I've imported it. Keywords Yik. Okay, so the bug here is in code that I've written. It's just code in a different script. So you see if I had add a utility script, I have this Yik Helper Function script that I wrote previously that I added to my kernel. Okay, so the problem is in specifically the line post keywords, keywords extractor dot key post. Okay, so here's the problem. And then I'm following the trace. So I'm reading through all of the information that the bug has gotten us and trying to single out where it is. Build single term features, max TF, validate TF. So these are probably topic frequency, maybe is what the TF is. Max arg is an empty sequence. Deep Learner, is Kaggle going public? Yes, Kaggle is part of Google. So I guess invest in Google, I guess, if you wanted to invest in Kaggle specifically. That's not financial advice. It's just if you really wanted to, that's, I guess, how you would do it. Is it listed on NYSE? Yes, maybe. I don't know, man. I'm not a finance person. I'm not a quant. All right, let's see. So this actually is this error is showing up in the extract keywords method of the keyword extractor class. So this problem is actually in the Yik code, the code in the library that I'm using, and not in my code. Okay. Will it work if I do sample posts? Will this work? So this would remove the part where I actually do the keyword extraction. So instead I'm just tokenizing it. So the document embeddings might take a little bit longer. Yeah, Isuru says Google owns Kaggle, ? I think it was acquired about 2.5-ish years ago. It was in the news. If you search for like Kaggle Google, all the details are out there. Let's try the clustering. Yes. These are running very quickly. Okay, no, but there is stuff in our clusters. So you'll see here that we have, so these are the index of the clusters that we've generated, and this is the number of posts per cluster. And you can see here that we have it's kind of a problem where we have this big cluster up here that has 267 posts, and then 18 and 14 and 12 and so on, and then we have a bunch that have 2, and I don't think that there are 15 here. Maybe there are, but we've also been having a problem with where we have empty clusters. So I think this should print the info for each of the clusters. Let me make this bigger, smaller rather. So here we have DataCamp has some interesting things. Thank you for the guideline. Thanks for the information. And thanks, Rachel. Oh, that's me. The Google Cloud Machine Learning, a good starting point, notebook tutorials, paint by numbers. So this is a very diverse cluster that has a lot of different stuff in it. And you can see that it's also coming from a lot of different forum posts. So this isn't a very useful cluster because it's not actually reducing the complexity of the information a whole bunch. Oh, and here we see these are the types of clusters that are so happy to see. It makes me delighted to see Kaggler's helping out other Kagglers. It's not super relevant for the specific project that I'm looking at, because if I'm like, hey, engineering team, look at what people are talking about on Kaggle, and it's like 5 pages of people being like, good work, nice job, nice work, good job. And then just like, oh, I'm having a specific problem with like uploading this particular type of data set is on page 14. That's not as helpful for them, right? So I am looking for a way to filter out before we get going these types of posts that are, again, fantastic. Love to see them. Not super informative. So this one's like, no problem. You're welcome sort of things. No problem. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing. You're welcome. Well explained. Awesome. Perfect. Amazing. Very interesting. Thank you. I've updated it. Very helpful, thanks. Very helpful resource, thanks. Okay, here, so these are things that we probably would be interested in. People being like, oh yeah, I have this problem too. So these are things that we would want to see, because these look like they're probably related to some sort of bug reports that we want to be able to take a look at. So, thanks. Again, delighted to see it. Thank you. Not very good clusters, very tight clusters, make a lot of sense as clusters, but they aren't really very helpful. And here people are talking about like data sets that are very similar to other data sets, which also could be interesting and we'd probably want to see. So I want a version of these very nice and colorful. And you can see here we do have some empty topics. So I want a version of these clusters where we don't have the just like super polite posts. I just want a way to get rid of them. Or at least put them in another bin that I can like look at when I need a little pick me up. So some things that I've noticed about these posts is that they tend to be pretty short. So I would say less than, I don't know, how many characters is this? Okay, so this one's about 50 characters. So I'd say less than 100 characters probably for each of the posts. And let me start a new thing where I have my notes. And I had some ideas going forward here. So what's a new markdown cell? Removing politeness posts before clustering. So I would say probably less than 50 characters, I think is probably a good cutoff point. 50 characters or less. Contains, so there are, it looks like specific phrases that are really associated with this politeness behavior. So no problem, I think, is a good one. Thanks is a good one. No problem. Thanks. Sort of like thank you, or any sort of like thank and then additional characters seems to show up a lot. Let's take a look at these other posts. And if you were tuning in last week and you're like, hey, these clusters are slightly different. So these are going to be on the posts from the most recent one day. So let's see. Let's look at these. No problem. We got those. Great work, nice work, interesting work, great work, nice. So I think great, nice, and interesting, especially right in front of work. So great, nice, interesting, in front of work, or I think kernel is another one that tends to be thing. Thanks for sharing tends to show up really quickly, but we'd get that with this thank one. So I'm basically hand building a stopword list here. So I'm going to use this as a filter to figure out which clusters we can, which posts we can, just set to one side before we do our clustering. Okay, and these are all longer, so that's probably are going to be more interesting to us. Let's see, great work, nice work, informative, no problem. I think I got most of these ones. Awesome, perfect, good, amazing. I think awesome, perfect, and amazing are probably... And actually, let's expand our width. So let's say less than 100 characters, because people probably aren't asking substantial questions in 100. People aren't probably asking substantial questions or having substantial discussion if their post is less than 100 characters. Is my thought. And this is all just like me hypothesizing and like having read a lot of forum posts, like a lot of forum posts. Which, like, I'm happy to do. It's part of my job. I enjoy doing it for the most part. But again, this is for me to give to other people as a sort of a condensed version. So, we already have this remove HTML tags function that I think we can use to Hold up. Okay. Oh, wait, there's a specific algorithm for finding multiple text strings in a text input that is much faster. And, we talked about it in the Kaggle API tutorial. What's it called? It uses a different type of decision tree. It was during career I can never remember things off the top of my head. Yeah, intro to APIs, okay. What was the algorithm called? So we were doing an example, talking about APIs. Not super helpful. Existing project, is that where I talked about it? Flash text, that's the one that I was looking for. Okay. So I'm gonna actually, I'm just going to copy and paste all of these to get the specific information that I want. And actually, at this point, I think I'm going to start a new kernel because I'm doing enough different work here that I want to put it in a different kernel, and then if I want to use it a little bit later on, what I can do is new notebook. What I can do is I can convert my kernel. I can put everything in a function. I can convert my kernel to a script. So you can see that's under kernel type. You can now convert from a notebook to a script and back and forth. So I can write all my functions in a notebook, make sure they all work, convert them into a script, and then import them into this this kernel, just like I did with the Yik Helper Functions. So I can add additional Python modules, basically, that I've written in a different kernel. So that's what I'm gonna do. Grinder says, would be missing out on the ones that have like, thank you for this post, however, I have this issue. That is a good point. We are definitely going to be missing, I do need to add the meta Kaggle data set. There is the probability that we will be missing specific types of forum posts. But if somebody, good point. Presumably, so my sort of way of getting around that is that my hope is that if people are talking about a problem, they will say what the problem is, and that should take hopefully more than 100 characters. I write a lot of bug reports. I don't usually think any of my bug reports are under 100 characters, and I could be wrong on that. So yes, there is the potential that we are going to be losing some information. Oh, it's already for forum posts. It's already for the forum messages. Oh, that's right. That's right. I was looking at what, specifically what Python packages people were talking about. So I'm actually going to get rid of this. And then I just need to, so this is the bit I'm getting information on the most common Python packages from a URL. So what I can do instead is create this, create my little custom stopword list here. And I think that should get most of them. My move English stopwords. Oh, I remember. So there were some Python packages with names like the, which is not going to be super helpful. So I don't think we actually need to do that. So now I need to create a list from these words, create a custom stopword list to identify polite forum posts. And the Python make a list. I can never remember the difference in syntax between a list and arrays. Jake says, is this the beta stage of the new NLP beginner course? Nah, this is just me working. Okay, so it is in square brackets and quotes. Could I do this with like grep? Yes. Am I going to do it with my hands instead? Listen, it's only like 10 things. And this is going to remove things that talk about great, nice, and interesting. But again, we're only going to be doing this for very short posts. So hopefully that's going to help us. I don't believe it supports regex, so that's why I'm removing all of the stuff that would be better captured with regular expressions. The thing that I was saying is that I don't think that we're going to lose too much useful information because, again, we are only looking at super short posts. So, stop word list. Those words aren't in our list either, so let's try it out. I probably shouldn't have done this all in the same cell, huh? All right, so we found none. Huh. Oh, I'm only looking at the first, what is that, 3 forum posts. So look at the first 5,000 instead, see what we see. 5,001, I guess. Yeah. All right, yeah, interesting, thanks, interesting. And you see none of these would be caught because these character indexes are all above 100. This one would be caught because this character index is under 100. So far we'd get 1. Float object has no attribute lower. Oh, somebody made a forum post that was just a number and it was parsed as a float? Weird. Okay. So we don't actually need to extract the keywords. We need to detect the presence of them. Okay, so now we have a way of taking our stopword list, and you guys saw how quickly that run. The benefit of fast text is that instead of doing like nested for loops and having exponential time, we won't have to do that. So Tron says, what about typos? I'm just ignoring them. If I can get, 80% of the forum posts that I'm having a problem with filtered out, and then I can, cluster the remaining 20%, I'm fine with that. Yeah, this is just sort of quick and dirty first pass to remove the majority of these posts that aren't interesting. Or not remove, just set them aside. All right. So, oh yeah, that's right. So when we were doing the word cloud, we, which I don't think we actually got all the way down to. We didn't. We got like most of the way down to the word cloud. So let's continue doing these down. Run after, so everything after our current selection. So when we looked at the word clouds, you guys can see thanks, great work, nice, interesting, thanks, problem, kernel, thank, informative, thanks, thank. You guys can see why this is a problem in terms of like creating clusters. Is just there's so many people saying like great work, well done, good job, which again, super happy to see. I don't know, some people don't like the term data cleaning because removing data always is like, this is, lower value, we don't care about this. And I do care about it and I do want to see it, but for my specific purpose, it's not useful to me currently. So. All right, so what do I want to do from here? What I want to do is I want to get posts where if this occurs, it's within the first 100 characters. We gotta check out the keyword processor. So fast text keyword processor, and I believe in Python you can do. Yeah. There we go. Show me the doc string. Okay, so it does a number of different things. Whether it's case sensitive or not, and I believe it defaults to not, which is good. Extract keywords found. All right, that's not, I'm not looking for extract keywords though. Can I see a list of all of the attributes? Can I see a list of all of the things that I can do with this? Keyword processor fast text. Oh, no, not that one. Flash text, not fast text. Slightly different. There we go. Extract or replace. I only want to detect the thing. Zatron says, just check the length of the post before extracting the keywords. Yeah, that is the simplest solution. Thank you, Zatron. A little sip of coffee. This is why working with other people is fantastic. If len post less than 100, and instead of printing just the keywords, what was I looking at? I was looking at, oops, sorry, I made it big. I wanted to know if there's a way that I can check if they exist rather than extracting them. Extract, replace, give extra information, no clean name for keywords, multiple keywords simultaneously, remove keywords, check the number of terms, check if term is present in the processor, not in text, get all the keywords in the dictionary, detecting word boundaries. Oh, and this is why we're not using regular expressions, is because it is much faster. So you can see that regular expressions looks more or less like quadratic time to me, and flash text is much closer to linear time, so much faster. Or this might be linear and flash text looks like constant. Anyway, it's faster. And since we're doing a lot of terms, that is useful. Okay, so it looks like our only options are to extract keywords and to replace the keywords. So I suppose we can extract them and then check if they're empty. If keywords found dot exists, how do you tell if it's not empty? Python check if array not empty. Oh, actually, I think it's a list. List not empty. That's what I want. How do I check if a list is empty? If not. Okay. So I'm going to say if bang not, which should reverse it. Maybe. I guess we'll find out. Let's find out. All right. Nope. That is incorrect syntax. All right. Oh, okay. So I don't even need to say, I can just say if. And it's thinking, all right. Oh, and we got the same error that we got previously. Object type of float has no lang. Okay. So what we should probably do is convert this to a string. Was it as... it restarted. I think I hit the wrong keyboard shortcut. I think it's as string is the... I know we did it up here. As type string. Okay. So if we convert it to a string first, then that should solve our problem. And Citron says, if lang keywords found. Actually, somebody mentioned it here. Apparently this is covered in PEP 8, which, no, I went to the top of PEP 8. There we go. For sequences, use the fact that the empty sequence are false. Empty sequences are false. So I think it's not wrong. It's just not PEP 8 compliant. So... sounds like Robbie's heading to bed. Sleep well. If list. Oh, Jesse is helping out. There's a little bit of a lag between when I see you guys talking and when I'm talking, so I'm not ignoring you. It just takes a bit for me to... let's just refresh this real quick. It just takes a bit for me to see your comments. And I'm not like a super stickler for dot as... What did we say? We said as type string. Cancel. Yeah, there we go. So this should help us avoid that error we got that floats don't have lengths. String object. Okay, so what do we do here? Info post message as string. Okay, so let's actually let's cast it as strings when we take the sample posts. Because that's where we did it before, and it seemed to work then. So now it's thinking, yes, excellent, thank you, it's working. So here we have, this is very useful, thank you, very useful, thanks heaps. Yes, these are exactly the things that I want to get rid of. Thanks for the reference, thanks for the answer. I too would like clarification on R. Stobo's question. None of these terms are in this one. Thanks, thank you, thanks. Thanks, Philip. Thanks for the interest. Thanks for the precision. Thank you for your good words. Thanks. Okay, so these are getting a lot of the types of forum posts that I do want to get, removed. David says, that's domain knowledge there. Reading lots of forum posts. Yes. Fun fact about my sort of previous life as an NLP researcher, my area of interest was internet language and social variation. So thinking about forum posts and communities and the way that communities talk is something that I've spent a lot of time pondering. Thanks. Okay. Why did this one show up? And we had an empty one that also, oh no, I see that was, oh, okay. I think this is a whole forum post. So what I'm gonna do is add a little separator in here, just so it's easy to see where the lines between the forum posts are. And instead of the first 5,000, let's do the first 1,000, just so it doesn't take quite as long. Check that out. Double check that these are all working. Yeah. All right. Yeah. This is working pretty well. This seems to be capturing all of the things that I want it to capture. Pleased. I'm pleased. This is working. And I want to get the most recent 1,000 posts. Oh, how do you slice from the end? Is it negative indexing? Python slice from end. I don't remember. This is one of the things that's difference between Python and R, and I am confused by start, stop, copy for array, blah, blah, blah. Everything except the last two items in the array. Okay, so what I need to do is that, and then, okay, so this should be the last 1,000 items. So let's check a little bit more recent posts and see if it works for that. Thanks for the tips. Your notebooks are on point. Thanks, and good one. Thanks. Nice dashboard. Great job. Thanks for the submission. Thanks, dude. Great write-up. Really enjoyed it. Thanks a lot. Fantastic. These are catching a lot of things that I want them to. I finally got a negative hard. Not something you usually want, but we were looking for people to get it in the specific exercise. Interesting approach. Yes. Thanks for checking. Great kernel. Thanks a lot. Very useful. All right. Oop. Yeah. Okay. All of these I think are good for nice kernel. Thanks for sharing. Yeah. I think we did it. I think we cracked it. This is working fantastically. Oh, and Ankush just said the code that I did figure out after looking it up. And Zatron says tail will also work. Oh, interesting. Will it only work for data frames? Because I know head doesn't work for everything, because I keep trying to use it and it's like, this is a list, you can't have the head. And I was like, it's like you've never used bash before. That was rude. I'm sorry. I'm sometimes just frustrated a little bit by Python. Okay, so let's do the thing that I said I was going to do and turn this into a script, removing polite posts. So def polite post index, and then forum. Okay, so what this will do is let's add a doc string real quick. Pass in a list of forum posts, get back the indexes of short, polite ones, ideally. So we've done that. I'm trying to think, do we want to create the stopword list inside our function? So every time we run the function, we create the list. And I think we do, because we're only going to want to run it once a day. Daku says, your keyboard sounds are good. Which keyboard is it? It's the Logitech K120. It was like $10. I mean, you guys see I tend to have drinks at my desk, so I've killed a lot of keyboards. I tend not to buy expensive ones anymore. I learned my lesson. All right, create a keyword process. I think this should also be in the function. If keywords found, we want to. So it's not in sample posts. It's not in forum posts. It's in the sample post things that we've passed in. For posts and foreign posts, we've defined this here, so we don't need to change that. If keywords found, okay, so we're going to want to return probably a list of, or an array. So I'm thinking is the two options that we have is we have a array the same length as our input data frame with and we can use it as a Boolean array so that it's 0 if the post doesn't fit these criteria and it's 1 if it is. Or we could return just a list of the specific indices and then do negative indexing to remove those posts, which could be faster. Energy says so costly. I mean, I appreciate that might absolutely be very expensive for some of y'all, but I'm a tech worker in the US, so for me that's not a lot of money. At one point in my life, it would have been. Things have changed for me for the better. All right. Is Boolean indexing faster? Pandas Boolean indexing versus, what would you call the other one? Querying by index, maybe? I don't know. Indexing and selecting, all right. Labeling information. I just want to see if one of them is like significantly faster than the other. Pandas now supports 3 types of multi-alias indexing. Primarily integer-based, but may be used with a Boolean array. Rachael says, would this notebook be available on Kaggle somewhere? Yes, I'll make it public. The forum post embeddings and clustering one is already public. It's our Tatman forum post embeddings and clustering. This one that I'm working on right now isn't public yet, but I'll make it public at the end of the stream. Primarily interposition based, may also be used with a Boolean array. So I guess the question is whether callable index. Rachael says index slicing. Oh, to get the so index versus index slicing speed. I just want to know if one of them is preferred or not. Likewise, faster than Boolean indexing. I'm just off on a little rabbit hole here. I work with Python like a fair amount, but I'm not like super deep into the guts of Python, so I don't have a good instinct right off the bat which one is going to be faster or better. And because I'm going to be running this every day, I would prefer that's a little snappier. Boolean indexing. Not a view as one would get with slices. Okay, so I think we actually probably do want to slice rather than index, because if we create a copy, that's less memory efficient. So let us create an index. So if the keyword is found, is there a fast way to get the index of a post? Nope, I don't actually want to run all of that. I think I deleted too much. I don't think this is gonna work. Oh, right, especially because we are only defining a function and not doing anything with it. And then polite post index sample posts. And then let's just do, instead of 1,000, let's do 100, just so it's a little bit faster, because I'm pretty sure we still had polite posts in there. All right. All right, it printed something. Zitrone said enumerate might be the easiest way. So my problem with enumerate is it's going to start from 0, right? But we want the index in the whole original data frame? No, because we already have the subsample. So we could use the index of the subsample. So yeah, I think enumerate would be easier. For enumerate, let's see if that'll work. I know that's not how you spell enumerate. Enumerate, okay. Vijay says, instead of looping, just use enumerate to get the index and the value. I guess it is index.value. Abhishek says, create a dictionary and apply map function for faster string search. Because we're searching for multiple strings, I don't know is it's going to be faster than flash text. It might be. I don't know. Is that gonna work? I don't think this is gonna work. Let's see. Yeah, okay, that did not work. Tuple object has no attribute lower. Let me say. So I think I should actually say index in enumerate forum posts. Forum posts index. Extract keywords. Actually, what I think would be easier is I'm just noodling here. There's probably a more efficient way to do this. Index print index. All right, let's see if this will work. That did not work. Type error. An integer is required in polite posts, sample posts. Key error. Okay. Vijay says, oh, some people, Aaron says, send both methods to the Thunderdome to find out. So that's the map versus flash text. For I post and enumerate forum posts. For I post, and it looks like Vijay is saying the same thing. And I'm just going to use I instead of index because it is less typing and I am lazy. Hey, it worked. Excellent. Okay, so the next thing that we would need to do is we need to return an array instead of just printing out a bunch of stuff. So let's call this polite indexes and make it empty to begin with. Polite indexes dot append I. Yes. Oh. What I did not do was return it. I should probably do that, huh? Return polite indices. All right. So now if we do this, we should get an array. Fantastic. Very helpful. Thank you, everybody. I'm still not 100% sure how enumerators work, as it turns out. So at this point, I think we are good to go. Okay, I don't actually use this. I don't actually use this. And I don't think I actually use... I might at some point use something that relies on NumPy or Pandas, so I'm not gonna futz with those. And I'm just gonna convert it to a script. And then I'm going to... I believe we moved making it to a utility script over here. Yes, absolutely. Okay, first I gotta commit it, and it's gotta run without errors. It's running. Citrone says, you don't need brackets when using return. This is an R. I want brackets. They help. All right. Looks like it ran without errors. Return to the vision file, make a utility script. So now I should be able to add a utility script, search by recently run. What did I call this? Removing polite posts. Let's see. Recently created, my work. Commit to save changes. Save changes, I have to commit it. Let's see. Does it have the tag on it? Let's get from Kaggle utility scripts. All right, maybe I have to refresh this. Maybe let's find out. Hello, Hamed. It's thinking. It's preparing my kernel. Can I add a utility script now? Yeah, there we go. Okay, it just took a second. Excellent. So I can get rid of that. I don't think those mean anything. And once it restarts, because it needs to reload it into memory to make sure that I can access it, I should be able to use this polite post index using forum posts. So I'm also going to import, what is this called? Removing polite posts.py. Removing, there we go. Removing polite posts. I hit tab complete and then kept typing like I tend to do as RPP. And then what I'm going to do is down here when I am pre-processing, I'm going to parse states, number of posts, remove HTML tags. So I think right after I remove, no, I think before I remove HTML tags, I'm going to remove polite posts. So sample posts. So do I need to do it from the sample posts info as well? I don't think I do, because I think I do an inner join. So if it's been removed from one, it won't be added to the other. Famous last words. Let's see, it was rpp dot, I should have only one function in here. It's taking a while to load. Polite post index. Sample posts. Actually, just look really quickly before we stick it in there, run it in a new cell just to check. Named RPP is not defined. Oh yeah, it does help if you run the cells. Yeah, that is gonna be a little bit better. Whoops. All right, so once these are run, and these are going to take a bit because loading in the data set is going to take a while, then we should be able to run this and get the index of just the sample posts. And then I need to remember Python filter pandas by index. Gonna look this up every single time for the rest of my life, as it turns out. Df, nope. .ix, view a column, row and column. There we go. iloc. Okay, so iloc, and then it's the columns. So it would be. But we also want to do, okay, so that worked. We also want to do negative indexing. So we want to remove them. What does it say? Python pandas remove by index. Removing index columns. Nope, I don't want to remove the index columns. I want to remove it by the index. Label names and corresponding axes, or by supplying the index names, which is what I'm looking for. So this is dropping row 0, column 1, row 0, column 1. I don't think that's what it's doing. Drop a row by index. Oh, I see. So it's dropping rows 0 and 1. So we're left with just the third row, or the second row if you're counting from 0 like humans don't do. All right. Let's see. Sample posts.iloc. And then, well, I guess we can just print out the sample posts first. Oh, right. That's not a thing. And these are just the rows. Oh, that's right. They're rows. They're not columns. Thank you. Nice. Thanks. So I should be able to say drop. Yeah, that should work. Method object is not subscriptable. What was the syntax for drop? Oh, I see. I'm trying to use subscript instead of passing these in. That did not work. Why didn't it not work? Not found in access. All right, so it looks like we have a couple that have new lines in there for some reason. Really quickly, this is returning an array, right? Yeah, no, that's an array, and it looks like I don't have, yeah, I don't know where those extra new lines are coming from. It is, I'm pretty sure it is a list. Why doesn't it work? All right. Let's try it again. Nope, same error. I don't know why I thought it would change. Key error. Not found in access. Why is it treating it like a single number instead of a list? Do I need to say something? Drop a row by index. But that's what I'm doing. Why isn't it working? Dayframe dot drop. I don't need to say anything else. That's exactly the way that the example is written. Drops by index, just like we would expect it to be. Single label or list like. Is it not a list? Is that our problem? Python check if list. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so I can say type and make sure it's a list. I guess it could be an array. I'm pretty sure it's on a list, though. Yeah, it's a list. Why does this not work? Let's see if we can get our error back and then look into it. Type here. Oh, people are helping me out. Yeah. Like I said, there's a little bit of a lag, so thank you for the help. What did we get? Key error pd.drop. They're trying to drop columns, which is not what I was doing, and I had no problem. Passing an empty list label raises errors when the list is non-unique. Are there repetitions in here? I don't think there are. I don't see any. So 102. And And I'm going to do it as a set, which should remove any duplicates. 102. Okay, so there aren't any duplicates, so that's not our problem. Single label or list like if none of the labels are found in the index. Drop columns by label name, dropping rows using Python. I'm doing it the way I'm supposed to. What is with this font? Drop duplicates, drop by criteria. Vijay says maybe try specifying that it is the index. All right, that could work. Actually, I guess it could be here. Let me see if it's because it's trying to evaluate it something syntax tree. Let's see if we do it up here, if we get better better results. No, the same thing happens. Not found in access. Not found in access. Python drop. Drop function error. Da, da, da. Are they getting the same thing that I am? No max. Default access is 0, which is what I want, so I don't know why this isn't working. Alright, and you are suggesting casting it specifically as an index? I don't think this will work because this isn't the same length as our data frame. Yeah. I don't think it'll work because it's not the same length as our data frame. Oh, it did work. Okay, so what did this do? Length 250. Similar problem. Thank you. This can be a good starting point, but this is all of our posts. Oh, I think I know what the problem is. I think that we are indexing from 0, and this is indexing from where the original slice was taken. So, no, it shouldn't matter, though, because we're getting the index. It shouldn't matter because the index that we're getting, oh, nope, it does matter. It does matter because we're getting the index from the enumeration. So what we need to do is we need to re-index the forum posts starting by 1. Okay, it makes sense why this isn't working now. Pandas re-index sample from 0. That is what I'm looking for. Dot reindex. All right. Do I just have to say reindex? Do I need to specify the new index? Two calling conventions, index labels. We highly recommend using keyword arguments to clarify your intent. All right. So let's do sample posts dot reindex. And hopefully this doesn't break anything downstream. It definitely might. And the indexes are enumerate sample posts. It did something. Object of type float has no length. Okay. We already cast to string. So let's recast here in case we've just rewritten over something that we shouldn't have. Rachael says reset index. Get rid of this. Do I need to... Okay, it is not an attribute. Function object has no attribute reset index. Let's look it up. Oh, here we go. Remove the row labels and move them to new columns. Set row labels. Reindex like. Changes the same... all right. Reset the index or level of it. Reset the index of the data frame and use the default one. Instead, if the data frame has a multi-index, this method can remove one or more levels. Why does it have to be like index? Why can't I just like use the row numbers? The old index is added as the column and the new sequential index is used. And for some reason it's not working. It looks like, let's see. Data frame.reset index. Yes, yes. That looks like we are doing what it says for us to do. Function has no attribute reset index. It's a function. Let's try that. I don't know why this would help, except that maybe we're trying to add the same column multiple times. Nope, does not help. Zatron says, just write enumerate one forum posts. It might work. I think I actually need to say iloc here rather than index. All right. Because sample posts is definitely what we called it, and I don't think we defined any function called sample post, so I don't know why it thinks it's a function. When I try to use, yes, okay, excellent. Somebody else is having a similar error. Has no attribute view. Thanks in advance. Reset index. Literally what I'm doing. I have overwritten sample posts. Don't assign. All right, but even if I recreate it from scratch and then reset the index. Oh, okay, that works. Excellent. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha. That's why I thought it was a function, is because I was saying, hey, call sample posts this function. Gotcha. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Okay, this didn't work because not found an axis. Just really quickly one more time. That's an array. Okay, yes, we are, sorry, it's a list. We are getting the list out. Was it index that was helpful? No, this is just giving me everything. Oh, is it? Is it though? 346. $346. Okay, so we're dropping nothing. Oh, right. Okay. Oh, excellent. It is working. Okay, so let's move this down here and do a little bit of tidying up. What did we do? We re-indexed our posts, which hopefully is not going to break anything down the line. We'll find out, I guess. And then we had our polite posts. We got the index of those. And now we are going to want to drop them and reassign this to sample posts. So I'm overwriting my sample posts. Get rid of this. Get rid of these, clean up our cells a little bit, bunch of stuff that we do not need. All right, let's extract the keywords. Get the word vectors, and this should be a little bit faster because we have removed about a third, a fourth of our posts. Do a clustering, that was pretty fast. Value counts. Okay, so we still do have kind of one big cluster and then a bunch of other miscellaneous, but let's look out what I do. Item wrong, length 240 instead of 245. Okay, I do have to remove it from the... Okay, I know what I did there. So I removed it from the sample posts. What I did not do was remove it from the sample post info. So I should be able to run that, and then down here run this. Nope, still getting an error. Okay, well, noted. Oh, I figured out why I got the error. I didn't actually remove these polite posts by index, so now I should be able to. Nope, still does not work. 250 instead of 249. I think if I reset the indexes, it should work. Let's find out. Okay, that took a bit. And now, are you the same length? You are not. Noted. Well, helpful. So I'm just checking to make sure I don't have anything coming up that's a meeting that I need to get to. Okay. I don't. All right, so it's in, our problem is in get post info by cluster, which we definitely ran. Are these all gonna have a problem? Yes. All right, let's check out get post info by cluster. Get post info by cluster, data cluster labels equals number. So did I add a new, so it doesn't actually rely on the sample post info at all. It only relies on the number of clusters and the sample posts. So did we create an extra cluster somehow when we clustered? Okay, so we got 15 clusters. Do we have 15 cluster labels? No, we only ended up with some of them. Okay. What is number of clusters? 15. Not entirely sure why we're running into trouble here. Let's restart and run from the top and see if that helps. I do want to get to the bottom of this, because I think having removed the polite posts will make our the clusters that we do get much more helpful. And I'm pretty sure I determined the number of clusters, etc., after we created our... So let me double check. So we changed the size of the data set here when we do our sampling posts. sample post info, get the ones that are after our start time. All right, and from there we just get the messages. Okay. Sample post info. Is there something else that we're doing in here that's causing issues? And it's thinking about, oh, we're still loading in the data. It is a pretty big data set, so that does not make, that's not super surprising. All right, so we remove the polite posts from both the sample post and sample post info. These should be the same size. These should be the same size because it's at this point which they become different data structures. We reindex them both. We sample them both based on the same index, so that shouldn't change it. We change the type and remove HTML tags, and this is just in the messages column, and we remove the HTML tags from the sample post, so that shouldn't change the size. The number of posts is taken from sample posts. So let's actually really quickly check. Are we still running? Did we get all the way down to the bottom? Oh, nice. Okay, whatever it was, we fixed our problem. So I think we're good to go. I don't have to bug fix anymore. I think it was just me running cells out of order, like you do. All right, so if we check out our sample posts, you can see that we have some things. At first, make sure these are true categories. Label them on hot and categorical variables. Okay, so this is just one post. It's about categorical variables, and it's sort of off by itself. This one is hyperparameters are from this kernel. I have a kernel to test features. I use features from this, so it looks like kernels and feature engineering. Fantastic. Good job, friend. Good job. I missed some. I'm just going to edit this real quick because that I do want to remove as well as the good job posts. But did pretty good. Thank you for your work. Thanks for sharing. I was thinking, very informative. Keep going. Thank you for a wonderful job for time series. Agree, finally, no blend. Good one. Good kernel. And I did choose not to include good here in my list of words. So that's on me. Can I edit it? Am I just bad at clicking with my mouse today? Yeah, okay, there we go, it's starting. So that's pretty good. This one is interesting options. I've used these data in the data set. The data seem very similar, so talking about data specifically. This one is message. Okay, so this looks like sort of non-ASCII characters, sort of miscellaneous. They're sort of unlike the other word embeddings, which is pretty normal. Deep learning, hi, good start, hi, I'm not an R person, thanks for the beautiful kernel. Lots of people saying hi, do you have the documentation, thank you for posting the question. So these are a little bit longer posts. I think we were worried about removing things where people are like, thank you, and then talk about something else, and I think these shows that we haven't, which is good. And this one, well done, keep going, well done, keep going. I have the same problem, I have the exact same issue. I'm not sure why these are all grouped together, but these ones are definitely good, and I think we should remove those. So I think we can also get rid of well done. I think good job was another one that we decided was maybe not so good. I mean, it's fine. Again, I'm happy to see it. I'm not saying that these posts are wrong in any way. It would just be nice if we could make sure that our clusters include lots of very relevant posts. And then here we have a really big one. And we do have this problem where we just have one big cluster. And to help with that, we actually did a little bit of subclustering. So here we see the results of our subclusters, which is that we have one big cluster and then a couple of smaller ones. So here's people talking about assignments. Here's people being like, you're correct, that seems normal to me. A lot of these are to do with the learn forms and specifically BigQuery machine learning. So I think that's a pretty good cluster. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this so far. I think that removing thank you helps a lot. Removing those specific type of clusters. In terms of making it, these ones that are big series are just the empty clusters, in terms of making it easier to read. So I'm actually going to get rid of that because we did all that. And I think that was a pretty good day. We did some additional pre-processing, removing the polite posts. We found a bug and then fixed it mysteriously. I'm not entirely sure why. And you can see that our total number of posts here is a little bit lower, and we also have fewer clusters with a lot of posts in them. So I think I'm going to call it a day. I'm pretty happy with that. I think we're making good progress. I think we could do better than... I think we could do much better than word clouds for visualizing these, though. So that's something that we can work on going forward. Susie says, can you make us a lesson about different feature engineering? Yeah, I guess. This particular series of live streams isn't really a tutorial. It's me genuinely trying to do work. But yeah, feature engineering is definitely interesting and something we can talk more about on the channel. Roz says, was the error corrected? I missed it. I just reran it from the top and it disappeared. So I think at some point I modified one of the two things that I was trying to merge and not the other one. So did I make an error somewhere with polite? I don't see it. I'll figure it out. All right. Thank you. David says, I learned about just watching. Oh, I'm glad. I really appreciate having you guys help me out with the Python syntax. That's sometimes a little bit more fuzzy for me. And I'll commit this so you guys can see the latest version. If you want to play around with it, please feel free. And this one I'm going to make public so you guys can check it out if you are interested. And it's just removing polite posts. So thank you for joining me. We will be back on Wednesday. We'll be reading a brand new machine learning paper, NLP paper, and I will set up the voting for that I'll do it on Twitter and also on the YouTube channel, so you can vote on which paper it will be. And if you have ideas, please feel free to reach out to me and let me know what papers you guys would like to see. And I'm going to call it a day because it did go like 50% over time, but I wanted to fix the problem, and we did. I'm very happy to see that. And I will talk to everybody on Wednesday or next Friday when we'll continue with this project. Unless I finish it by then, in which case I'll give you guys a little walkthrough because we've been working on it for a while. All right. I will talk to you then. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Kaggle. Bye.